Hey, what's up? Hello, this is Auntie Cubana coming back at you with another episode of the Unladylike Lounge podcast. And today I am joined by Flo. Flo, how are you today?
Well, I'm unladylike today.
Yes, that's exactly what
I'm
I love to hear.
yeah, perfect. I'm fine. I'm on my boat in the Mediterranean, south of France. Weather is nice, so I'm having a good day on Christmas.
Oh my goodness. Well, from everybody here in the United States, happy holidays and glad that you are in the hopefully, well, obviously if you're in the Mediterranean, it is way warmer than here in Wisconsin. So
Yes.
glad to hear that. Why don't you take a moment to tell us a bit about yourself, brag on yourself a bit, and tell us what we'll be talking about today.
Well, I'm going with the flow, so I
Okay,
probably have
perfect.
much more to tell than we have 30 minutes time. So I'm curious to find out what you want to know. I'm personally working as a, well, call it however you like, personal coach. I am working mainly with leadership personnel,
Okay.
very often related to their companies and how to well, how to lead their teams, how to develop their career. But mostly, I am personally interested in who do you want to be, who do you want to
Okay.
become, and who are you right now. And very often in these leadership trainings, I'm working with women because they are lacking their mentors. They don't really know who they want to be, especially because the work environment changed so much, and so they think that they have to become the better man in order
Okay.
to be a true leader. And I don't think that's true. What's much more important is that you are the true self, that you know who you know who you want to be, because that's how you can find your voice and how you can talk to other people. And that is what will get you the respect, not following a certain recipe, but being truthfully yourself, so that people know exactly who they deal with, what they can expect from you, and what you expect from them.
Absolutely. I
And
love
then
it.
there's a lot that we can talk about: this, the communication, the behavior, the finding out who you want to be, how you find the calmness within yourself, and all of that is part of my coaching. And well, maybe one or the other will fit in here as well, if you like.
For sure, for sure. So what made you want to get into coaching and helping people become who they're meant to become or who they want to become? What made you want to become that person?
I i grew up thinking that I am expected to be somebody I don't want to be.
Really?
Yes, and I always had an adventurous mindset. I wanted to break out from like the routines. I very often I felt like I don't fit into yeah, the typical German person.
Okay.
So where you have to go to school, then you have to be clear about your career, then you study, then you work in that career, then you, well, buy a house, get married. And I thought that I just want to be as rich and as famous as I can be, so that I
Mhm.
can prove it to everybody else, and then finally I can I can do whatever I wanted to do in the first place: explore Africa, travel to the Amazon, live on a sailboat, travel around the world. I thought that I have to own it first, and
Okay.
and I met a lot of people in my time uh, as a headhunter, that they were going for external validation. And when I started to work as a headhunter, I was quite young and I had no idea about that field, so I couldn't BS the people. I All I could
Right.
do is ask them, like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Why do you want to go there? What does your wife, what does your partner think about this? And I thought that was that was like the cheap way out. I feared that one day I will be found out, that I don't know what to tell these people, because all I could do was ask the questions. And then when Lehman Brothers collapsed, I was working in the finance industry. Lots of them came back to me and they said, Flo, the conversations with you were the best I had in years. Would you be so kind and take some time that we can go through my career options, because I want to change now. And I think I
Okay.
want to leave the finance industry. And all of a sudden I realized that this asking the questions and being curious was of great value. and
Yes.
and back then I was unsecure, because I thought, now I have to tell them what to do. And I found out that I don't have anybody to ask myself. I didn't have a mentor.
Okay.
And I thought, how great would that be if there could be that sparring partner? And then I wanted to become a coach and had no idea what it meant. And then I started coaching, training, and then I changed career. I went to the oldest business school in the world, which is a French one, ESCP Europe, and I became the career service consultant for their alumni base. And so I had a lot of on-the-job training. And eventually I decided that it's all about the simplicity of happiness.
Yes.
Because so often you can become anything that you want, but you can't become anything at once. I mean, even nowadays, if you have a job, you can afford almost everything. If your biggest dream is a Ferrari, you could somehow make it to the Ferrari. But maybe you need to say no to a lot of other things. And this is what
Yes.
most people don't realize. They want everything at once right now.
Mm-hmm.
And getting what you really want comes by saying no to everything that you don't want. Every career, every success, every wealth comes with a price. And the question is, are you willing to pay that price, yes or no? And for me, what I want is the freedom. So I'm paying a price for that freedom of living on the boat and traveling the world. But I had to come to that realization. It means saying no to everything else, saying no to all the other options, to go for what I truly want. And this is when I realized, hey, it's happiness very often lies in the simplicity. It's not being an honest person, being a valuable person, being a happy person is never complicated.
Okay. Okay. I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
I
So
like the way you.
if your mind is full, then you're always busy. It's the overwhelm. And saying no to a lot of stuff because you want to have that Ferrari or that Liberty or that boat gives you a very clear path. It's a very clear choice. It's everything else or that. And if you always go for that, then you will eventually get there. And it's the same with your thoughts. Like, what are your expectations for the holiday season? What are the expectations for Christmas? What are the expectations of your partner? What are the expectations of your family, of your children, of your job? As soon as it's getting complicated, it might take you down the rabbit hole. So if the true bliss, the true happiness, and the sweet spot is very often a simple solution. Get rid of everything else that you don't really want. And
Okay.
I can tell you it doesn't work out for me all the time. I got
For sure.
much better over the last 20 years, I can tell you that. And right now, most of the time, I am much clearer in my thoughts than I used to be. And the life that I'm living right now is a life that I dreamed about when I was younger. And still, there are days that I forget about that because I compare to everybody else, and I'm scrolling the Instagram feed, and then I see what else everybody else has. But
Right.
I'm comparing all the way left to all the way right, and I think they all have everything. No, the ones on the left have left, the ones on the right have right.
Right.
and they don't have both. So you need to make a decision whether you want to have either or. And this is the problem with comparing yourself to everybody else, because everybody has something that you don't. And
Exactly.
so I still struggle, but I know that it's the simplicity of happiness, and it helps me to get back there.
It really is. It really is. And you had mentioned, being able to have the freedom to explore the world and have these adventures. And where have these opportunities been able to take you while you're, on your pursuit of the simplicity of happiness?
Huh. Well, I can tell you where it didn't take me.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not sitting. I'm not going into an office anymore. I'm not working.
Yes.
I didn't go to an office for the last 10 years.
Wow.
I don't have a boss. I don't have anybody to report to. I do not always have financial security because, well,
That
I need to find my clients. I do not own a house. I do not own a home. I'm not living in an apartment. I'm living on my boat. I can take my house wherever I want to. So it's a lot of these things that my friends back then from school wanted to achieve in their life are things that I needed to say no to. So I don't have that anymore. What I was when I was young, I loved to read, and these were always adventurous stories.
Mhm.
So when there was somebody exploring South America, exploring Africa, going on around the world trip, being alone in the desert. These were books that I wanted to read about, and I didn't go to bed. I just kept reading about that. And yeah, of course, I would like to have the big house and a nice fast car and all of that. These were all nice because they
For
show some
sure.
status, but I wasn't really interested in that. I was interested
Mhm.
in these stories of adventurous lives and even simple lives. I mean, Mahatma Gandhi lived a very simple life, but it was an
Yes.
inspiring personality. And
Mhm.
very often he had these people like Alexander von Humboldt, so one of the big German expedition leaders about 150 years ago. And he discovered a lot of things in South America. I could read these stories even as a small child. And I thought, oh, that would be cool to live such an adventurous life. And
Yes.
this happened. This happened along the way because all of a sudden there were opportunities that I could only see because I decluttered a lot of my mind.
Yes.
And so I went on a solo tour by foot in Sahara in the desert.
What?
Yeah, and I had never been there before. So I mean, all of a sudden, being there in the middle of nowhere, I had a satellite phone, but I was running out of water, and I had to find my way. And it was before Google Maps, so there was no GPS. I had some printed out cards, and I was walking there. And then after 10 days, somebody else found me, and they took me on an even greater expedition to Western Sahara, to the ocean, Plage Blanche, and some very, very remote areas. Then I built a hotel at the beach in Zanzibar. Zanzibar is a tropical island off the coast of East Africa. I'm running a small safari company as a side hustle. I'm having a small house on Kilimanjaro. I hiked Kilimanjaro twice, and Mount Meru, the second tallest mountain in Tanzania.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, I'm living on a boat for two years. I lived in the Swiss mountains. I spent a whole winter in a skiing resort where I managed to go skiing snowboarding every single day until
What?
noon, and then I was sitting at my computer and I was working till the rest of the day. So these are things that happened because
Yeah.
I decided that I don't want to go to work to pay for my penthouse in Berlin.
Right. Was that a scary, because I mean,
Yes, everything is scary about that.
yes, it's terrifying because we
Yes.
are conditioned as a society to think that the 9 to 5 grind is what we're supposed to do. That's normal. And what you're doing, this life of adventure, it's something that you see in the movies. It's something that you read in the books. It's not something that we're conditioned to think is something that is normal or that we can actually achieve without doing the steps first of the 9 to 5
Yes.
grind. How scary was it for you to just jump
Horrifying.
into that?
What are people going to think about me? What are my parents thinking? What are
Oh
my
my
friends
goodness.
thinking? Um, and um, I was married quite young. I married in my 20s. I thought back then it is the best decision to marry the most beautiful woman that I met, and
Of
now I
course.
know. Yeah, maybe I should have uh, looked for some psychological downsides along the way. So it absolutely didn't work out. It turned out to be a nightmare, and
Oh,
over that I lost a lot of that shiny facade, and
okay.
um, and I came to a point where I thought, now it doesn't matter. Now everybody thinks I screwed up completely anyway.
Mm,
Now I can do whatever I want to do. And that was the moment that I was sitting down and I thought, what is it that I want to do? And then I came up with that Sahara idea, the walking by foot. And then I trained and I prepared for about a year for that. And then so many people told me that I'm crazy and that I cannot do that. And what about my ex-wife? And what about my parents? They are going to be terrified. What if I die? And then I realized I am going to die.
right.
It's just a matter of when.
Right.
So and 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 the the moment that I die, I want to be sure that I made the most out of the time that I had here. And I
Yes.
realized I'm going to die. I'm going to die with empty pockets. There's nothing that I can take.
Mhm.
I don't want to work now to, and it's not only about the enjoyment, but about living life to the fullest after I
Yes.
worked for that.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, what is it that I want to achieve? Let's go for that directly, because
Mhm.
these are the experiences that I want to draw out of life. And these are the experiences that I think make me such a great coach that I am, because I'm not teaching textbook knowledge. I do know a lot of textbook knowledge, but I can put it into perspective. And
Right.
now I know the life that I live is not the life that you need to live.
That
And the
part.
life that you think right now that you should live because your parents or your teachers told you or your spouse expects you to may not be the right one for you as well. And I am able to maintain that mindset whenever I'm in a coaching situation. It doesn't matter whether it's about money, it's about love, it's about sex, it's about family.
Mhm.
I know that whatever I see there is not for granted. You
Right.
can take a different decision. What is the decision? And if you stay where you are, that's also a decision. And is that the decision that you want to make for your life? And to leave the known path. I just read a quote the other day, which is so true. If the path in front of you is clear, it's probably somebody else's.
I love that. I love that.
And to leave that path, and that is the unscary, to leave, to follow a path that somebody else walked
Yeah.
before you. To leave that path is always scary. And we as human beings, for most of history, the most scared person was the one who survived. Because there
Yeah.
were wars, you could be eaten by a tiger, you could fall off a cliff. To be scared of something new was what secured survival of our species. So fear is ingrained in our DNA, in our psychology. And I am super scared. I was scared to be alone in the dark. I was scared to sleep outside. And now I'm very often sleeping alone somewhere on the ocean with just like an anchor holding me there. I mean,
Oh my
you don't
gosh.
know if somebody else is going to climb, and it's never locked. I'm sleeping on deck,
Wow.
and I needed to face that fear. And I think
Yes.
that is something that can help a lot. If you're not scared of your decision, it's probably a sign that you're not playing a big enough game. If you're
Okay.
not scared, it means you're still following the path that you see in front of you.
That part.
As soon as you start living your own life, it has to be scary if you are a human being.
Yes.
It's not about being like bravery. Does not mean bravery is not being scared. Bravery is how do you deal with being scared?
Okay.
Do you stay
Okay.
where you are? Do you run around? Do you turn around? Do you run away? Or do you face your fear? And then fear is what is going to keep you alive. I mean, if I wasn't afraid when I'm alone out on the ocean, probably I would very soon die there, because if you're out on the ocean and something happens, the boat sinks, you're gone. So it's
Yes.
super helpful to be scared, but then it's about putting that fear into perspective. Is it a
Yeah.
fear of something which is happening? I mean, is there a storm, or are there rocks, or is it just the fear in your mind that something might change, and then you
Right.
don't know how to deal with it? So it really makes sense to face that fear and say, okay, what is the fear that is keeping me alive, and what is the fear of my psyche? And then if you face that fear, you grow as a person.
And that's where it's all about, is that growth. That's exactly where it's all about. I love it. I absolutely love it. What is the one thing that you would say you learned, the greatest lesson that you've learned along this journey?
Yeah, I don't know. the greatest lesson. So one that pops into my mind right now is, it's not about you, and it's all about you.
Okay.
Because who cares if I'm alive?
Okay.
It's just a matter of perspective. There will
Yeah.
be a day when nobody is alive anymore who ever met me.
Excellent
There will
point.
be a day when nobody on earth has ever seen or talked to me.
Very true.
And if you put the perspective big enough, who cares about Caesar or Alexander the Great in a million years, in a billion years, in 100 billion years? I mean, maybe the Earth doesn't exist anymore. So it's just a matter of perspective whether a life matters or not. Probably it won't even matter if human societies existed or not. So there will be a point when it's absolutely pointless whether I was alive or not. So it's not about me. It doesn't matter. But on the other hand, my life is the only thing that I have. So
yes.
It's all about me. Because, the world outside, will continue without me.
Correct.
But that I am aware of the world is only because it's in my head, because it's about me, because I am alive right now. And in my life, I am the only one who can take decisions for myself. So it's not about me, and then it is all about me.
Exactly.
It's my responsibility to live my life the way that I want to live my life.
For you and only for you.
Yeah.
I love it. Where can my audiences find more of you and follow along with your journey and maybe even get in touch with you for some coaching?
Yeah, the easiest is simplicityofhappiness.com.
Simplicityofhappiness.com.
And I have my own podcast, and I'm writing some articles, and there's an about page, and so I'm posting all my adventures on my private tag on social media. But you will find out if you keep in mind simplicityofhappiness.com. I mean, either Google or go there directly. You'll find out about me, and I am always reading all the emails myself, and I'm replying myself.
Awesome. I will be sure to drop that link in the description box below for anybody who is listening to the audio version of this. And I will be sure to, like I said, sorry, I'm having like a whole little brain fog here today. I will be sure to drop that link in the description box below. We will be sure to keep you in touch. And do you have any parting words, wisdom, guidance, tips for our audience members before we part for the day?
Well, ask yourself that question. Who do you want to have been?
Okay.
And what is the smallest step you can do today to get one step closer?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Flo, it has been such a pleasure. I swear I have taken so much from this conversation. And I literally just sitting here, I have been doing so much internalizing and just reflecting. That's the word I was thinking of. Not internalizing, reflecting. That's the word I was looking for there. And I can't wait to listen back and do some more digging and thinking about my own personal journeys and who it is that I want to become. To our audience members, our ladies, gentlemen, and unladies alike, you already know what it is. I love y'all fiercely.